Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitious podcast. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously. Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd. And on today's episode of the Ambitious Podcast, you better get your big girl panties on for this one, because I am thrilled to introduce my good friend and soul sister, Mikaela Maclean, who's the mastermind behind Beauty by Design and the host of the podcast, Beauty by Design. Mikaela is a master esthetician and the director of intuitive skin science at Little Fox Beauty. And she's soon to be relocating from the US to Scotland. But in the meantime, she is here on the Ambitious Podcast to share all of her knowledge, wisdom, and magic. Mikaela is an expert in human design, and she uses this powerful system to help women in the service industry align with their mission, purpose, and true selves. We spent a week together in Costa Rica at the Radiant AF retreat, Candice Marino's retreat, the LA Facialist. And I had spoken to Mikaela a little bit before we had gone out there. And when I spoke to her, I instantly felt this deep soul connection with her. And before we went to the Costa Rican retreat, we actually did a session together where she ran my charts and she read my whole entire human design. And I knew that I was a manifesting generator, but I never really delved too much into it. And when I tell you that just her 90-minute reading shifted my mindset to the point where it totally uprooted everything in my life, from my boundaries to how I show up with my clients to the things that matter most. And since I've come home from that retreat, my whole entire business has leveled up in ways that I can't even explain. If you are in the service industry, you have to hire Mikaela for at least one session. It blew my mind. It expanded my mind. And I feel better than I have in a really long time just from implementing the things that Mikaela taught me about who I am as a human and how I should be showing up and how I haven't been showing up the right way. And when I don't show up the right way, how I feel. And that is the red flag to say, I'm not following my human design. Incredible wisdom, incredible knowledge. I cannot wait for you guys to listen to this podcast. And without further ado, let's harness our energy and level up our purpose by listening to the incredible Mikaela Maclean, the mastermind behind Beauty by Design. Let's dive in. Mikaela motherfucking Maclean, welcome to the Ambitious Podcast. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to be here with you. I miss you so much.
I miss you more. And I've been literally counting down the seconds to see you and your beautiful face and just to be on the podcast and just impart all of your wisdom that literally has changed my life. And we're going to get into that real deep today. So I am just so excited for all the ladies out there in Ambitious Land that listen to this podcast. And this is really going to help them figure out how they really truly desire to feel. And to also realize like all the shit that they're doing on a daily basis that's going totally against their human design. Yeah. And that's why they're feeling so fucked up and chaotic and crazy.
Yeah, no, 1000%. Oh, I always say it's the keys to the universe. I feel like I have them and just, yeah.
You do. Because I'm going to be honest with you. And I was talking to another coach on a podcast recently, and I was telling her how I have a hard time as a coach asking for help. Because when you're a coach, as you know, like people are like, they must have it all figured out. And it's like, I do to a point. I mean, I'm very successful in my business, but what you taught me, just the small amount that you talked to me about in Costa Rica when we were on the Radiant AF retreat with Candice Marino, that just blew my mind. And when I came home from Costa Rica, I started implementing a lot of the things that you taught me. And it has totally changed my life. I'm not going to lie. Some of the things that I learned from you were really difficult. And it actually kind of created a little bit of chaos and upset in my life only because, which is a good thing. Yeah. Which only because it was like, I had been doing this thing, for example, whatever, we'll talk about this in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this thing for so long in my life because I was taught and programmed, like, this is the way you have to show up to make it work.
Yeah.
And then when you taught me what you taught me, and I know you're going to teach me even more today, when you taught me these things, I was like, fuck, this is really scary, because to really truly implement this knowledge that Mikaela imparted upon me may mean like blowing up a couple parts of my life.
Yeah.
But I've done those things, and now I'm happier than ever. And I'm still navigating through a lot of the processes, but it has totally changed my life. And what you do is just so freaking valuable, like beyond. So thank you for being here. And I cannot wait for us to dive deep into it.
I'm ready for it. I'm so ready.
So tell the girls a little bit. So you've been doing human design for how long?
Probably like a decade now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before you were a master esthetician. So you were an esthetician for years and years and years before. And then what got you involved? Like, what made you get involved with the human design thing and then implement it into your business and your life?
So I love to joke, and I'm a Pisces. I'm like, this is just the kind of people that we are, which also I have to say right now, it's out of context, but that you and I are the same age. You're a month older than me. And like that, I think is super significant. As we talk about you and your chart, I think that's really going to like play in, because it's like, we get each other on like a very age and cultural level. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So there's like really significant things in our chart that we share and stuff. And so I think that's really fun, but that's my joke. I'm like, I'm a Pisces, but, I think I've always been into the stuff, and then doing skincare. I mean, my background was, very serious in ballet. Like I attended the School of American Ballet. I thought I was going to be a professional ballet dancer, all that. And then going from that to being very lost when I ruptured my Achilles at like 15, and getting into skin. I was like so into it, and it has to be like science and hardcore and, blast your face off type of stuff. I worked strictly in dermatology and plastic surgery. I didn't want to, nothing foofy for me. It's got to be like serious, and again, I think that's something that you and I share in that way of like, you're going to go hard. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so that was like my mentality, but yet I had this very, just naturally like spiritual side to me. And so, eating disorders, body dysmorphic disorder, that kind of stuff, and doing all the things to myself, having the things done, in fact, in clinic, doing them to my patients, lasering them all the time. And, just realizing this is like a tail chasing type of thing, because, a month later, they're going to come back in for the next treatment, or something. And it's like, oh, you got rid of this. So now let's focus on the next thing. And it's like the next thing. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, like, that is what my patients are reflecting back to me. And like, that's the same person that I am. It's like, what are we going to do next? What can we inject? What can we do? And, at some point you're like, wow, this is like kind of vacant and kind of vapid. And like, at what point are you going to feel good? Right. And again, I always say, like, I love treatments. I love the things. You will never pry them out of my cold dead hands. I'm like 44 years old. She needs them. So it's not that, but to see that as like the cherry on top, and like, hey, I'm, it's the flourish. I'm gilding the lily, but I'm not sourcing my self-love and my self-worth from these things that are external and temporary and all of that. So anyway, kind of bring it back. I was always into astrology and all the things and stuff. And then one day human design just kind of like came into my world. I feel like it found me. And what's wild is that in my own chart, there's very specific and very unique things, very rare things in my chart that basically are like, yeah, girl, you are meant to be doing this stuff. So, I just like deep down the rabbit hole, I'm a 4-1 profile. Not that anybody knows what that means, but it's like 2% of the population. It really is cut out for this work. And, studied very deeply. COVID came along, and it's so, sometimes it's like, wow, the way it changed things in a really positive way too. There's shifted the paradigm of like what's possible and stuff. So at that point, I'm still just plugging along, master esthetician, all that jazz. And, we literally go into like a world crisis. Well, my chart has to do with crisis. I'm supposed to enter people's worlds crisis is a harsh word, but it's like,
Was.
what I think we talked about, there's like crossroads. It's like when you're at a crossroads and you're like, like things are changing. I don't know what to do. I'm looking for meaning. And it's like, and here I am. And so it hits, we're all home. And which the world, or at least the West Coast, closed down literally on my birthday that year. Like everything shut down. It was crazy.
I remember well.
So it was like my birthday was like an activation. It's like, it's strange to look back at it in that sort of context too. So I don't know. I think I talked about the stuff or something. Somebody asked me to read. I was like, oh no, I don't know. I can't be doing this yet. And I went ahead and did it. And I was like, hi, because I just felt so good. I was like, I'm helping people in a completely different way that I've been doing for the last however long. And it's just so validating, like they got so much out of it. And the next thing you know, like the whole time we were in quarantine, I worked all day, every day, because everybody's like freaking out. What is this all about? I'm looking for meaning. And here I am being like, I can tell you about yourself and help you find and I'm very much a purpose-driven person.
Yes, you are.
So it's like to help people kind of attach to that and figure that out and be like, wow, okay, so it's not about the job that I'm not able to go to right now. It's like, no, what is meant for me in this lifetime, and how am I meant to bring that energy to the world, And so then I went back and eventually was kind of like doing it in clinic, which was a very interesting thing. And then, bada bing, bada boom, I don't know, it's 5 years later. And I like,
you are
it's
deep in it now, girl.
Yeah.
You are deep in it now. So can we talk a little bit about how human design came to be? Because people always ask me, like, is it because of astrology? Is it this? And it was actually like a channeled thing, right? If I'm not mistaken, which is so cool. Yeah.
So in 1987, the man named Ra Uru, who is like the founder of human design, his name was not that. He came out of this like, it's wild. It's like, I oftentimes don't tell anybody this stuff because you're like, it sounds just so like crazy, but then it's so insanely accurate. Right. Yeah. So he has this like spiritual experience. Let's just go with that. Okay. He's in Ibiza. He has a spiritual experience. He has his dog with him. It's like an 8 days and 8 nights kind of thing. And he like essentially gets told how the universe works. Like what? And it's so that's like the basis of human design. And so it didn't even have types in the beginning. It was just like a lot of information that
so it's evolved. It's evolved. Like all the different things have evolved over time.
He's been, he passed on and stuff, but it was like trying to figure out, he just was like, okay, I'm committing my life. Like I had this like thing happen to me, right. And the voice told him all of this stuff. And then he just was like, okay, I'm committing my life to teaching this from here on out. So types and things, it's like, it was a way of organizing information to teach it because there's so much. So what I think is really cool, and again, going back to the things that you and I share in our charts, that has to do with like my purpose and your purpose, is like being what I call a synthesizer, is being able to take like all kinds of things and like bring them together. So that to me, essentially, that's what human design is like a synthesis of many branches of wisdom. Mm-hmm. It is astrology, but it's also the I Ching and the Kabbalah and the chakra system. And then it's also quantum mechanics. It's like real science and astronomy and like all this kind of stuff that all conspire to explain why you are the way you are, who you are. And to me, I'm like, this is kind of low key, like this. It's like if you're ever wondering and you're like, what is God's plan for me? And I'm like, oh girl, like here's how you were wired. Yes. And here's what to know about yourself and feel like, I don't know, the way I put it is like, I stopped questioning myself. All of a sudden it was like, my joke lately has been let go and let God. And I'm just like, listen, the idea of all of this is that you are supposed to be a passenger. It's passenger consciousness. Like the less resistance that you're like trying to go out and like make things happen. And you're like, just come into alignment with yourself. Yes. And this whole thing is like telling you like who you are. And what's wild about it too, is that unless somebody, I'm like, this is the caveat, unless somebody has the wrong birth information, that's the only time I've ever encountered anybody being like, that doesn't sound like me, because it hits so hard. And you're like, oh, is me. I'm like, I don't tell you things you didn't know about yourself. That's also funny to me as well.
Yes.
Like you want confirmation of like who you are and what you're meant to be doing so that you can let everything else fall away. This is for you.
So amazing. And now, well, we need what he was taking because I want to go to Ibiza with you and have God.
Me too, right?
Maybe that's in October. When we
All right. That'll be we'll do our next retreat there.
Yeah. But there's different types of human design. So there's not just like one human design. So there's 4, right? There's 4 human designs and then like one little like side little shoot.
So there are that's what's called the aura types. Really, there are as many human designs as there are people on this planet.
Oh, wow.
That's what's exciting to me. It's everybody. It's like there's the high level of like, oh, I'm a generator. I'm a manifesting generator. Like, okay, that's cute. But unless you see somebody's like actual design, like every single thing on there is unique to them. That particular, I'm like, you think if like God like had a paint palette, he's like Bob Ross, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of this color. And it's like the palette is the same. The things to choose from is the same colors and stuff, but that specific painting, right? Now I'm thinking about Bob Ross, and it's like he painted all these pictures, and they were all like if you think of like they were similar, they were nature pictures. So it's like every person is a person,
right?
But like every little detail about that painting, there's no two exactly alike.
Right. It's so funny that you say that because, now that I'm been really delving into the human design stuff since we started talking about it, what will happen is people will be like, oh, I'm a generator, I'm a projector, a reflector, a manifesting generator. And I think that sometimes if they never worked with someone like you and really read their whole chart and their motors and their different, their splits, and we'll get into that.
Yes.
So many nuanced things when it comes to human design. That's why it's so important, I think, in my opinion, to work with a coach who's like knows their shit, is going to read your chart, is going to understand and give you like the tools and teach you all the things, whatever. But people will be like, well, I'm a manifesting generator and you're a manifesting generator. And I'm like, yeah, but we're totally different. Like our splits are different. Our motors are different. Like everything is different.
Profile, different, everything.
So that now that you're saying that, it makes sense. So when you talk about human design, the aura types, there's manifesting generator.
There's technically 4. Okay. Pop culture human design, it'll be like 5. So really it's like there's generators, and the manifesting generator is technically a subtype.
Yeah.
But there's like, if you take like generators as a whole, it's like it's about half and half. So it's like enough to be like, okay, well, let's kind of give them their own category. So there's those. And they're what I consider sacral beings is how I like to describe us, because I'm a regular generator, you're a manifesting generator. And you have projectors, you have manifestors, and you have reflectors. And so at a very high level, you can group people into those, and you're like, there's general rules or general, instructions just for that level of things. And that's very helpful. Those things are very helpful to know. That's where you start. But it's definitely not the whole story. It's not even scratching the surface, But what's cool though is like at the end of the day, you can know all the really cool stuff that I know, and still you got to zoom way back out and go, okay, but girl, you're meant to wait to respond. And the more that you just do that, play by those very simple generator rules, everything else will fall into place. But my guilty pleasure is loving all of the deep details. And to me, I'm like, that's where you get the confirmation. That's where you get the real rad inside scoop that you're just not going to find on the surface.
So when someone wants to work with you, what they have to do is they reach out to you. You ask them for their birth date, their time of birth, and where they were born. So those are the 3 things that people need. Like when I started talking to you about Matt, because my husband was adopted, he doesn't really know like a lot of different things. So you were like, all I need to know is if he was born at night or a day, and I can kind of configure. He met his birth mom before she passed away. So she actually told him like, you were born at nighttime or whatever. So you even could run his chart, even though we didn't have the very specific information, which that's a generator. Like
you can totally tell. Yeah,
absolutely. 100%. And it's really funny too. This is side shoot, but then when you meet other people that are also like you just like know, you're like, oh, you're a manifesting generator. Like one of my girls that I coach, her name is Elle. She's been on the podcast before. And I'm like, bitch, you're a manifesting generator. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she like a free chart on like your website.
Mhm.
And then she was like, oh my God, bitch, you're 100% right. How did you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, because you start to pick up the vibrational frequency of people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
her split is a 4-1 split, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, where do I know a 4-1 split from? And you're a 4-1 split. That's
For one profile. But yes,
me,
that is, I need to know this person because we are rare birds.
I'm telling her
Yeah.
I told her to reach out to you as she's been doing some work stuff, but she's like, oh my God, now that I know that I'm this. And I told her, I was like, no, this is something and I have to, and now it makes sense.
Oh,
You have
that's
to work with her.
cool.
You're gonna like help her change her life because, when you're struggling too, as we all do, whether it's in business or life and relationships, it's just, I think the more you know about yourself and how you tick and like what makes you move and like what makes you like repels you, it just makes your life so much easier. So back to that. So they have to know that those 3 things, and what you do is you run their chart. And then you go through step by step by step, everything in their chart. And then you give them the tools like, hey, because you're this, maybe, baby, don't start, don't do too much of this over here. Maybe double down over here on that. And that's what was so helpful for me because I knew I was a manifesting generator like a million years ago, but I just didn't understand all the nuanced things to my chart because half of it is like cuckoo hieroglyphics, unless you're
Totally.
oh my God, like where you eat, like what time of day you eat, or like what your environment is, like how, remember we were saying like my environment's a kitchen.
Yes.
And Candace Marino's is a cave.
Yes.
And how she was building her whole entire spa to be like a cave and didn't even know that this is my environment until you told her. And then she's like, oh, it all makes sense,
There's like, I mean, again, it's like the crazy, crazy details. And this is what I think is so cool about it is that you get all of that from that little bit of information, and really what it is like the neutrinos. This is where like the super science comes in. It's like, it's like the energy that's like passing from the sun and through the planets, and it comes down, it imprints you at the time of your birth and stuff. And you're like, I don't know. Again, I'm always just going back to like reassuring is the word that I go to, because when you are questioning yourself or you're down on yourself or, whatever's going on, to get confirmation and I don't mean validation, but like validation, like that is me, that's correct for me. It really is like the allowing yourself to shed the things that are not right for you. And so I think about it in that way too, of like it's like strengths based. If you want to do that with it, it's like I could be like, oh shoot, I'm not like Katie, I don't have all of this stuff going on, like I need to be more like Katie. It's like, no, Mikaela, you need to be as much you as you possibly can be. And or Candace, I mean, we've talked about this, is like other people looking at her and being like, oh, and I'm like, that she's living her design. Yes. You have a design too. Like, let's work on you living that, and you're going to live your most fulfilled, amazing life. But her design is not your design.
Yep. Like people would come to me when we were in Costa Rica and they would say to me like, but I want like a big spa like Candace and I want like all these employees and and it's like, you're like, no, bitch, you're not a projector. You're not, or whatever. Like you're this, you can't do this. Like everything in your chart says the antithesis. And in this day and age too, with all the comparison on social media, you see people's highlight reels and you're like, I should be speaking and I should be doing these retreats. I should be doing all these things. It's like, actually, if you do that, you're going to blow up your fucking life and you're going to be depressed and anxious and hate everything. Yes. Which haven't we all done that to ourselves over the years?
Yes.
Like I'll be the first one to say I have done it.
Well, or it's like you find out like you're a manifesting generator and you were doing what you were doing and that was working. And then all of a sudden it gets to, what do we say? The milk's off, it's like, it's gone bad and it's turned into like blue cheese.
Oh, totally. It's Roquefort. It stinks. It's bad.
Right.
But you're the one that said to me, and no one's ever said this to me before. And I've worked with a lot of coaches and I know a lot of people in that industry. And you just said to me, Katie, in your human design, and we can get into it in a second, you'll tell the
I want to talk about you.
Where in my chart it says this, but you're like, one of your issues is as a manifesting generator with whatever profile split, blah, 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 you tend to hold on to things way past their expiration date because of obligation. And also like you know, when you are known for something your whole life, like it's built your career, it's made your success, it's very difficult to step away and say like, hey, I'm not fulfilled and I'm not happy anymore. Because you're like, what if people judge me? What if I lose clients? What if they hate me? What if they think I'm a charlatan or a fraud or whatever? But the fact of the matter is like, if you really step into that power and realize, okay, this is the thing that I've been doing for a really long time and I don't have to do it anymore. It's so liberating.
Yes.
It's so liberating. And the people who love you, they're going to love you regardless. Like, what does Dr. Seuss like say? Like, the people who mind don't matter. The people who matter don't mind.
Don't mind.
But it's so difficult, especially for me, because and I don't know if this has something to do with my human design, which probably does, but just like the trauma from my childhood and always just being like that people pleaser, like I'm always trying to make everyone happy and I'm always gauging the energy in the room. And, you know, that's fun when you're in your 20s because you have unlimited amounts of energy and like your hormones are perfect and you like can, you know, drink vodka Red Bulls till 5 a.m. and then like, you know, go to the club all night and then like go to work. But when you're in your late 30s and 40s,
no,
you're physically tired, you're mentally tired, but even more importantly, and I think you can attest to this too, it's like your soul's exhausted from putting on this front for so long.
I think too, you know, especially you with everything that we talked about and has transpired and stuff. It's like, yeah, you built your reputation on something and giving yourself permission. And it does have to do with your design. You very much have you have your ego or your will center defined, which is more of a minority thing. And it's just insane willpower and drive and, you know, all of that. And then it's like, wait, I don't have to do this anymore. Like to like truly let go is more about giving yourself the permission than anything else. It's not from anyone else.
Right.
So you have to be okay with that.
But we're waiting for permission for other people. And it's like, we don't need that shit, dude. Like, just like set your own damn self free.
Yes. It's amazing at how powerful we are and that we're always waiting, you know, for something or someone else outside of us to I don't know, let us be that powerful. It's like, no, this is a good choice for you.
Yep. We don't need it. We have everything inside of ourselves. So I know we talked about this before the podcast, but what we want to do today is go through my chart so that people can have a taste of obviously all my cuckoo, so they can really know how cuckoo I am, but also to see like how you work with people, because I always just sing your praises to everyone that I know. And I think that every person that listens to this podcast should work with Mikaela at least once, just to get, I mean, they should work with you for a longer time than that. But I think at least once, get your chart ready, start to understand yourself. And then I think that what happens is people will get hooked and they'll want to go deeper and deeper, because there's, like you said, there's so many nuanced things to everyone's design that, I mean, this is like you're going to learn forever.
It is. It's like a constant thing. And I was thinking, you know, I have these free classes. Like if you find out, oh, I'm a generator. Okay, well, I have an hour. It's a deep dive, you know, it's like there's a lot just in that to learn about yourself before you ever work with me. But I'll have people watch that and then, you know, they watch it again 6 months or a year later and they're like, oh my God, like there's stuff it was too much. Or you weren't ready to hear all of it, or it just takes time to integrate, but the repetition is huge. And then, I mean, you just find out all kinds of wild and rad things. And I'm one of those where it'll hit you later or something, or let me also say this. The entire thing is meant to be a science experiment. It's not something to believe in. It's not a religion. It's not none of those things. You know, it's like, take this and experiment. And a lot of it, especially when you're older, you know, you're like looking back, you're like, oh, I see how this all played out in my life. Or you're living the experiment and then something happens and you're like, okay, I'm going to, I can see it. It's like, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Absolutely.
And then you're like, this explains everything about me.
I'm like, bitch, where were you when I was in my 20s? Well, you weren't even doing
Well, I was with you. I was also in my 20s.
You're like, I'm just sucking along and trying to figure shit out with you, girl. We just live on different parts of the country.
Yes. No, but I totally want to talk about you because it's just wild. Like we have you and I companion energy, which I think is fun. It's like when you have similar things to another person, but again, totally different. completely different charts, but we do have some really fun things in there that are the same. Of course, you're a manifesting generator. It means, doing all the things, being capable of doing it all, and quite busy. Now, this is something, okay, I was thinking about this too, and I was like, I'm gonna have to tell Katie this. For manifesting generators, they have an excess of energy. So a lot of times that's why they do so much and then look at everybody else like, are you lazy, bitches? Like, mm-hmm.
You know me
Because
so well.
I know. And I'm like, and why that is because, what's in your chart is like, it's like, there's not too much, but there's so much energy that's like needing to get out. So you need to find ways to do that.
Yeah.
So you compared to me where I'm like, I'm just kind of staying in my lane and stuff. And it's like more, I have things in my chart that be about being obsessive, and it's like, this is my zone and I'm supposed to be a master of my craft. And you're like, living from the buffet of life. Fantastic, So knowing that difference, or the fact how I said you have the ego center defined, it's like you have insane willpower. So when you're around people, and you're like pumping them up and I'm like, you got me like jumping up and down. I'm going to wet my pants. And it's like, oh my God, I feel like I could take on the world. And then it's like, and then I'm not in Katie Boyd's aura. Like I'm not in her energy anymore. And all of a sudden, like, whoa, the willpower and the motivation isn't there. And it's like, because it's not mine. I don't have that defined. So you have this ability to like pump people up, which is amazing. But then it's like, you also can't hold them to your standard because they don't have what you have. I'm just pulling it like it is.
Girl, I'm dying right now because literally one of my biggest problems as a coach my whole life, or even when I was younger, but like really like my adult life, being Katie Boyd's Fit Club, ambitious, all these things, whatever, is exactly that. I get everyone just so pumped up with whatever I'm doing.
I know.
And then as soon as I'm
I've
away
seen it in real life.
oh my God. As soon as I'm away from them, it's like they just go like, whoa. And then I'm like, what the? And then I get mad because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I gave you all the tools. I spoke victory into you. I changed your mindset. I helped you rewire. And then you go home and you flick your bean for 3 days and you're just the same piece of shit. I get so angry, but that's about me, because you know what I would do, Mikaela, is I would be like, I'm not a good coach. There's something wrong with me because they can't keep the energy high.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you as a coach, like knowing that's really valuable to be like, okay, I'm talking to a homegirl over here who does not have this. So I see amazing things for this person, but I have to be patient and like let them grow at their own pace. And I'm here to support them. I'm here to pump them up when I'm doing it, but also just, I can't expect me from them.
Oh my God, it takes so much pressure off of me and it makes me feel so much better about myself, because that would be like my biggest crux of my everyday life is like, okay, I have like these 20 people that I'm doing, let's just say, business mentorship coaching with, and I give them all the tools. And then I'm like, okay, you got a week to do this. Let's do it. And then I get on a call with them in 2 weeks and they're like, yeah, like shit went weird in my life and I never got to the homework. And I was like, bitch, like you have to do this because I can't do the next step with you until this is done. And then I get so angry.
Yeah.
Frustrated, and like they're paying me good money to coach them, and it's like, and it takes the pressure off of me because I'm just like, okay, this person maybe is a projector or they're a reflector or whatever, and they're not. This is not how they roll,
I know.
So good. It's right. So good.
Well, so you're Aquarius. So Katie's an Aquarius, and her Aquarius sun like is in gate 30, and this is what I said. I'm like, that's where my Mercury is. So I'm like, I see you, I get you. 30 is, it's in the I Ching, it's the clinging fire. And that is about this like passion, that an intensity that just, I'm always like, it's the thing that's like, what won't leave you alone. Right. And so this is like, you think of clinging fire, like it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. You can't put it out.
You can't put it out. And that's what's fantastic. It's like, like it's in the eternal flame. Okay. So that is where your sun, the biggest, brightest energy in your chart. If you get a free chart from my website, at mikaelamaclean.com, you can run this. It's in the upper top right-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
There's a circumpunct, which is a circle with a little dot in it. And it's the black one. And that number, the first number, so hers is 30.6, mine's 36.4. You're looking at that. But that first number, there's going to, like hers is 30, mine's 36. I have podcast episodes for every single one of these. So you can go listen to that. So I'm going to be talking about this, like it's cleaning fire, but like, okay, cool. Like I've got the passion, I've got the, the gasoline that's going to like, just keep burning, but it's also burn out. It's so intense that it can burn itself out and burn other people out because it runs so hot and so powerful, right? And so deep. This is the other thing. It's like, it's not surface level. These are not people that want to have surface level conversations. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it. If you're not willing to like go there with me, I'm just not interested, and so that's the type of person that you are. And then from that, knowing that you're a 6-2 profile, is like, you're meant to be an example, role model, like somebody who really has like lived the experience, like I hear something upstairs, but living like, you've been through it, you've been through the muck. I know the story. It's like, that's like the truth. It's like, these are the people who have had all kinds of like crazy life experiences and stuff. And then you hit, 30 or so, and you start to like integrate it and become like truly like a living role model in this way. And so people look up to you because it's like, she's been through it and she's not afraid to like tell people about the intensity, right? Like in that just how hard this stuff was, but then being a living embodiment of how all that can be turned into your own victory,
Right. I love it. So when you were saying about the 30, like the eternal, like the clinging fire, just because you have it doesn't mean you have to hold on to every little thing, right? That's part of like that's part of it as well, right? And how you said about the burning people out, because when I was at the height of like that energy right before COVID, and I would tell people like, okay, this is how you have to live, and this is what you have to do, and this is like with and then what would happen was people would hate me, right? So I would push them to the point where they would just break, right? Because they couldn't live up to that standard. And I've had clients say to me like, you want me to be this like up here, but I don't have that. And I would be like, why? Like, what's fucking wrong with you? Why can't you? Like, and it has nothing now. And this makes so much sense. Like how I would burn these people to the ground, and they would probably like be like, I fucking hate this bitch. and everything I was doing was always coming from such a deep place of love, because as you know, I see people's potential in them more than they can see in themselves. But that can be a problem in itself too, because you can push people over the edge, and then, you end up with people who are enemies, and not because anything else, but they're just like, I can't keep up with this energy. Like, and I feel bad about myself. And I never wanted to do that to people, but that's what just happened when you're not living in your human design and understanding that not everyone's like you.
That's exactly it. And I'm looking at your chart as we're, kind of talking about this, the partner. So there's partnership between gates. I won't really get into the details of like the why or anything, but the opposite one of this that you also have is basically like this gate of devotion. And it's like, it's going to stick with things. It's just going to like keep going. And, again, if you have that, fantastic, know how to use it, because that's also another burnout gate. It'll say yes to things that it's like, that really wasn't for me, but I have to stay the course. Like I have to keep going. And, and also then you being like that, having that expectation for other people when someone else might be like, that's not for me. That never was for me. And I can be okay, where, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, keep going.
Oh yeah. I'm like, to sally forth like a war all the time, which is not good either. Like, it's just not the vibe.
No. And I'm like, and then you have the ability in your own chart to like move very quickly. You have the channel of what do we call it? The Rizzler, the channel of charisma. And it's like this, like it's very quick. It's like it moves from response to like action. Again, not everybody has this. It's in a very important place in your chart. That's fantastic. You know, it's like powerful voice, somebody who not only moves themselves, moves other people into action. But again, it's just that contrast of like, that's me. Okay, fantastic. Other people can pick up on that when I'm in a good place. Wonderful. You know, it's going to help and inspire and whatever. But it's always just that expectation of like, I just need to be the best me and let other people like benefit off of that energy rather than, I don't know. It's just because we like impress upon other people, you know, we're designed a certain way. That's energy that's meant to come off of us. So it's like, I want the best coming off of me, but I can't expect me from you.
Yes. And I think that that's my biggest crux of my problem in life is like, I expect me from everyone and you're going to live a very disappointed life. And this is something I'm continuously working on. The other thing that just sparked me when you were speaking is I was having a conversation with Matt this morning and, you know, Matt's a generator. I'm a manifesting generator. And sometimes like, you know, I've been doing a lot of projects in the yard, in the house and doing all these different things because for me, like you said, I have this unlimited energy. I can't just sit and watch television.
No.
Like I like to do that like every so often, but to me, like, I'm like, oh my God, this feels so icky where my husband can literally sit on a Saturday afternoon with his hands down his pants, smoking, watching fucking TV all day long. And I'm like, and then and I told him this morning, I was like, you know, it turns me off as a woman because you see your wife like running around the house and doing all this shit. And then you're just like sitting with your hands down your pants. And he's like, Katie, you're a maniac. That's not how I feel. Like he's like, you're continuously in stimulus response mode where like I'll just get like a little spark of like, ooh, I'm inspired. And then you'll see me like ordering all this shit online. And then the next day, all this shit comes to my door. And then I'll redo like a whole room in my house in one day. I'll like pick up the mattress. Like I have like, you know, strength of like 10 men. And he's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you relax? And I always thought that, and I think it does have to do with a lot of my trauma from growing up. But I also, now that you've explained a lot of these things to me over the course of us knowing each other, like I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Like I have all this energy, I have to burn it off, or I have noticed that if I don't burn my energy off, it can go to addictive, low vibrational frequency places.
Right.
Right. My chart, Mikaela.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like, well, you and I both, again, considering like when we were born, this is oftentimes where I think some of this is found, have the perfectionist gene, and that I feel like can have a bit of like maybe not addictive but self-destructive qualities, you know.
Me too.
Yeah, big time. But the thing, you know, so this is something that it kind of hit me the other day. So I love that you just said what you said. When I said about manifesting generators having all this extra energy and access, it's like, this is why you guys do 50 million different things because, you know, like, and other people are like, why? It's like, why? I have a feeling that, okay, I'm like, how do I want to explain this? I had, as you know, and I don't know when this show is going to air, but it's like, I haven't really like said it publicly. And I'm like, okay, if this comes out after the thing has happened, then fine. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, perfect. Then, okay. So the biggest manifestation probably of my life, like came through, and which is we're moving back to Scotland. But this has been years and years and years and years in the making, right? Of like wanting this thing. And I thought about it like with shifts that are happening in my work and what I'm doing professionally and stuff. And I was like, you know, was this all like to everything that I've been doing, like to occupy my time and my mind and my energy so that like, you know, like the cooperative components of the universe have time and can all come into place and do their thing. And it's like, Mikaela's occupied. And then, so she's not sitting there twiddling her thumbs for 5 years being like, okay, when, you know, it's like, let's keep you busy. Let's keep you productive. And then it's going to happen. And so I wonder if it's like the same scenario. It's like, we got to give you, Katie Boyd, like you got to give the energy to do a million different things, but it's like, occupy yourself, do the things that are fun and exciting to you. And you want to redo the room in a day and all of that stuff. But it's like, it's because, you know, it's like giving a kid, like at a restaurant, they're going to come out with a sheet and the coloring crayons, because it's like, let's give you something to do. So it's not destructive, it's productive until the meal comes. And so I have a feeling like, I just really am like, I think that's part of like some of this stuff.
Oh,
Like, that's why you're designed that way.
You hit the nail on the head, because I keep saying to myself, like, where is this weird energy coming from? Not that I don't like to always do things, but there's almost like this heightened energy right now of like almost overdoing it. And then Matt will get like obsessed and he'll be like, I'm worried about you. Like, you're going too hard. You're going to burn out. I can see you. You come home from work and you're just like drained and you're exhausted. And then you get up the next morning, you do it all over again the next day. And I was like, I don't know how else to be right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do. And I think that this kind of comes back to where we started, of like giving yourself permission that as a sacral being. So again, this is advice for generators or manifesting generators. I love to joke about this. I'm like, we're simple creatures. All we have to do is do the things that we love. But it's hilarious. It's like, if you realize, and I think also being an entrepreneur where you're making the rules for yourself. You're taking on the things that you either want to or don't want to. And again, what I said about that devotion gate that you have, where it's like, you will commit. It's commitment. You will commit yourself to different things. Not all of it's meant for you, but because you also have this willpower thing, it's like, you're like, I'm going to see it through. I gotta stick with it to the end, instead of being like, I should have never said yes to that in the first place. Oh my God. Or, you know what? It was great for me at the time, but it's past its expiration date and I need to let it go. And again, giving yourself permission. So think about that. I'm like, if you really look for sacral beings, again, generators, manifesting generators, it's like, if you zoom out and you look at your life and you're like, there's so many things that it's like, I basically am making it hard on myself. Like, I said yes, or I take on too much or whatever. And it has nothing to do with my ultimate, like, goals or anything. It doesn't make me happy. That's like, it's so simple. It doesn't make me happy.
Mm-hmm. Now,
things that don't make me happy don't have a place in my life.
I ask you a mom question, because I know you're a mom. So when I was growing up, the women in my family, so my, all my caregivers that were women, were always instilling in me, like, if you do something, you see it to the end and you do it all the way, the best of your ability. And there's something in my life right now, we can talk offline about this, but there's something in my life right now that every time I do it, it literally shows me, like, in my face, so bold, that like, this is not for you.
Yes.
This is supposed to make you feel good, but it actually makes you feel the absolute antithesis, right? And I know that you have this thing in your head from your mother and your grandmother and whatever that says, like, when you say you're going to do something, you see it all the way to completion. You're not a quitter. You don't give up. So I have that like literally banged in my head. And then like, I'll tell my husband, and Matt's like, who gives a fuck? Just say no, just quit.
Exactly.
I'm like, I can't, because then, and I'll give him all the reasons, like, I'm going to embarrass myself. I said I would do it. And he's just like, quit. He goes, Katie, this doesn't make a friggin' hill of beans. It doesn't matter. And like, but then I have that mom thing in my head. Totally. It's like, I have to do it. So like, do you have advice for someone that's like, has that fucking malfunction? I
mean, again, you and I being the same age, it's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, you signed up for something at the beginning of the year and it means you have to do it. People didn't give kids space, to like be themselves. That's a major conditioning thing for manifesting generators, period. Just know that. Is like, everybody's told that they have to stick with things. And it's like, no, in MG's life, it's variety is the spice of life. Getting to taste, test, and try. It's like, whatever, again, a sacral being is like intrigued by the things that cross your path that get you excited. It's like, then that's right. But when the excitement for you like fizzles out, it's time to like let it go and pivot. And you're going to take the skills and whatever you gained from that experience or that time period, and you're going to roll it into the next thing. So I think it's like hearing that and getting it. So much of this is almost like intellectual, and then you need to go live it. It's like, I can tell you this, and it's like, oh yeah, that really hits. Let's go try it. Go see what happens. Yeah. I think, but again, you have different things in your chart specifically that I can see why it would be hard for you. Not only having the conditioning just as a child, but then there's things in you that is very much about staying the course, having the willpower, seeing it through. And I think at a certain point, it's just like, yeah, it's realizing like, this is past its expiration date. It drains me. It doesn't light me up. It doesn't actually give me any extra energy. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make me excited about doing this tomorrow and a year from now.
Yeah.
And that's, I think those are the things where you're like, And Katie, honestly, it's like, I have been in that place too. Just like, hey, I mean, this is what we do. And you just keep going. And then one day you just realize like, no, I'm kind of over it. And that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
give yourself permission to say it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Walk away.
Talk to us about the self, the not self, the themes, like when
Yeah.
you're in your alignment, this is how you feel, because everyone's chart is going to have that, right?
Yes.
Everyone's
Yeah.
going to have
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So mine is satisfaction, right? And
Yes. Me and
frustration.
you. Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
we have the same.
Because we're sacral beings. So it's
That's
like,
right.
you get a little side helping, of like whatever. But for sacral beings, it's like, if you're in alignment when you're satisfied. And what does that mean? It's like you're using your energy up in ways that make you happy. You fall in bed at night, you're ready to like crap. I mean, I can't stay awake. I'm doing stuff that I want to do all day. And then I go to sleep and I'm like, our batteries are recharging overnight. Ideally, you're springing out of bed in the morning, excited about what you're going to do all day again, right? You're out of alignment if you're feeling frustrated. Frustration, like that's a unique thing, and you're like, oh yeah, just if you feel like you're banging your head against the wall, you're, doing stuff, you're getting nowhere. It's like, then look at how you're spending your energy and your time, right?
Yeah.
That I think is again, I mean, it's all just so interesting. And I think frustration, and I think that this is something that is definitely gonna like hit for you, is like frustration comes from when you're trying to force something,
I've
right?
never done that before.
Frustrated because it like won't do the thing, it won't fit.
Girl, absolutely.
I know.
And then from my frustration, I get angry and then I get resentful. And that is
Yes.
not where I ever. So if I've gone that far, I know like this has gone too far.
Exactly. And so I think when you, again, kind of go back to like, hey, I'm just designed to be responding to life. I'm not out there trying to make things happen. I'm not trying to seek. I'm here. I'm waiting for things in my external reality to kind of like show up. And it makes me go, ooh, I like that. And I want to like move in that direction. Fantastic. That's the vibe you're supposed to follow. It's not about having a 5-year plan or I need to stick with this long. It's like, no, like it's hilarious. It's kind of like follow your bliss, and when your tummy goes, ugh, stop doing it.
Right.
If you think about the thing that you don't want to be doing and it gives you like that gut punch feeling, you're like, you need to stop doing it. It's not for
100%.
you. Like, let it go.
Oh, true. The other thing that helped me so much is when you were talking about, you were like saying like the role model versus like the hermit energy.
Yes.
That blew my mind too, because when you said to me, like, you're like a queen on a throne, you're like a high priestess, right? You're just like embodying the energy that you want people to like see what you're doing and take the pieces of what you're doing and intertwine and incorporate it into their own lives, right? You're not for everyone and you don't have to be, and no one is, right? And then the other thing that really helped me too, so that definitely changed my whole outlook, because I'm always like getting in the dirt with everybody, like, come on, let's get money. Bitch, you're the queen, like sit on your throne and like just like be that regal energy and like just let people like see what you're doing and then just follow suit or not. Right.
Totally.
And the other thing, when you said the hermit, and I was like, oh my God, am I like Radagast the Brown from freaking like I have like a big hat with like birds living in it and shit, which I always like felt like that. Like when I get weak or tired or really sad or angry or whatever, or frustrated, because that's my not self, I always feel like I have to just hide myself away and just like, just like get really small and just be quiet. And a lot of people, I know this for a fact, because people have told me, they're like, you think you're better than people and you're so snobby and you're aloof and all these things, which that's also a lot to do with being an Aquarius too, because as as people that are Aquarians, we're very much like alien to this world, like our energy is not grounded in earth. And also I understand as an Aquarius, like my soul chose to come down here to have this human experience, but it's ghetto as fuck down here. And like, why would I have said this was a good idea? Like this place is the ghetto. Anyway, right? Oh, the ghetto. Like, that's just, and then sometimes I look at people like, oh my God, what is wrong with you people? Like, and so I have to kind of go to that place, but the aloofness and the hermiting is not a bad thing. It's like how we recharge our batteries. And to a lot of people, it will come off as this like, oh, she thinks she's better than people. Like there's just days where honestly, Mikaela, and you know this about me, like I cannot answer one more phone call. I cannot answer one
Totally.
more text. I can't
Totally.
answer more DM.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't love you and I don't want to help you. It's like I literally have not one like pube
I have
left
nothing to give. I have no pubes to give.
no pubes to give. No, I have not one. Not even a gray one, honey. Not even
No, honey. It's funny because yes, that shows up in your profile, but in deeper levels of this as well, because your North Node and my North Node, so we're both Leo North Nodes because of when we were born. So that Aquarian side of like, I want to, and it is gate 19. We're sensitive to everything and everyone. We want to help people. We want to like be in the mix, whatever. And like, I'm like, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you what you need, even if you don't see it. And then knowing ultimately you and I are meant to move to the other side of the coin, which is like, no, the queen thing, of like, no, I exist over here on my throne and I'm not aloof. Like you come to me, but I'm going to post up and like that's how this is going to work. But that North Node in 33, this is so fascinating because you said it. It's like 33 is about retreat. But it's turning, this is very traditional, it's about turning a weak position into a strength. So I always say it's like you retreat to fortify. You go and you strengthen yourself back up. And a lot of it too is like, it's the synthesizer. This is the one that I'm like, no, I've collected so much. I have to go away. I have to be quiet because I need to let all the little particles fall into place. I need to allow things to make sense. I'm going to have so much wisdom to share with people. But if I'm out all the time, that process can't happen,
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I noticed because I traveled so much this year, like I was in Portugal, like the first part of the year, then Dubai, then Costa Rica, then Portugal again. And I felt like every time I got home, I would like unpack my bags, clean up my house, get things in order,
do it again,
work for a week, and then get on a plane again, which to a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, your life is so fab. And I'm like, it is fab. But now I'm feeling the effects of that where I'm just like, almost like drowning in the amount of shit that I had to like kind of put on the back burner. And then also in the realization of like a lot of the stuff that's been on the burner doesn't even need to be there anymore. So what the fuck are you doing for me?
Yes. I think that's it. It's like realizing all the things that you're, like I said, that you need to say no to, and you can just shed and like, let it be,
Absolutely.
And I can't stress that enough. I think also knowing that retreat piece, and this is why I laugh, like in my own life, is like I'm literally going to go retreat and be involved in retreats and things like that. It's like this is really about going away, and I think a lot of people don't give themselves again the time and the permission to do so.
Yes,
but when it's built, it's literally built into you and me to be like, no, like this is what you do. You do have permission to pull away. So instead of like beating yourself up, like, why do I do this? And people make me feel bad about it. And you're like, they don't know my design, but I do.
That's right. That's right. When people have that North Node in Leo, and that's the retreat, right?
It's very specific to this, a specific chunk of Leo, not all Leo.
Just us crazy bitches.
Right.
So when you have that in your chart, do you as the coach like suggest like, hey, when you're feeling some sort of way, your best tool is to like maybe go away for the weekend by yourself, or like maybe say like turn off your phone for the weekend? Like what would be good advice for someone that has that in their chart? Because I know obviously everyone that works with you going forward is going to have totally different charts, but knowing that they can get those tools from you, I think is so important.
Yeah. I mean, it would totally depend on what they had in their chart. And it would be rare. And I shouldn't say rare, but kind of, for somebody to be sitting in front of me and being like, oh, they happen to have gate 33 for their North Node or something, knowing that this is their ultimate destination, and their dharma. But I think if you have it in your chart, period, which plenty of people do in other places, it's like being okay with pulling back and going quiet. I personally have been I've traveled a lot. I was like Costa Rica, I went to Japan right afterward, it's been, this year has been intense, and we're only, I'm like the end of May.
I know. I'm a meet up bitch too.
Yeah. It's like, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, and an international move where we're getting rid of like everything and like, it's like starting over, building a house, like all of these things. It's crazy. And so I know myself well enough, and I know my chart so well that I'm like, you're in a retreat time, and that's okay. You're in a quiet period. You're pulling back. You don't have anything to give right now. And you're letting that be okay. Right. Instead of being like, oh, I need to post on Instagram today, or I didn't do a podcast. And I'm like, I really have gotten to this point where I'm just like, okay, like I don't care.
Are you mocking me right now?
No, why? I haven't been on. I don't know.
No, because I swear to God, like this is literally how I feel right now. It's like you're tapping into my mind because the awakened half of me that I know exists, right, is like, girl, take a step back. Like, it's okay. Like if you just focus on your self-care for a little bit and like just do the bare minimum, no one's going to die. The world is not going to fall into the black abyss, like everything. But there's a part of us that has that, like that egocentric part that's like, I can't drop the ball because then people may, whatever. And then there's that pull where it's like the three-dimensional pull of me is like, fuck, I really should post on Instagram and I really should do the next podcast and I have to do my show notes and all those three-dimensional things, which unless you're doing shit as hardcore as we do, you don't even realize like how much work goes and how many parts and how draining it can be,
Absolutely. And I think, and I have hit that point. And I do think sometimes it's like when you travel and you're at, and I was reading some stuff like, very deep in some nervous system studies right now. And it was really talking about how when you are in a different location, it pulls you out. This way you experience like trips and things way more intensely than your everyday because you're in your routine versus you're out of it. Mm-hmm. And what I always notice is like, I'll come home, especially if it's been a big trip, and I'll just be like I don't care. And I say that and I'm like, it's not an I don't care in a bad way. It's in a fantastic way. Yeah. It's like, hey, I just got tired of posting things and nobody's looking for me. Nobody's died. No, nothing's happened. And I have total permission to just not. And I think also allow yourself, like, it's like when you have something to say rather than it being like, I have to be on, like 24/7.
It's so draining.
I think too, and this is very much a sacral thing, is like we have the energy to do it. And again, like stopping and giving yourself a moment and being like, does this even make me happy anymore? And I, at one point, was churning out podcasts like crazy. And I feel like, oh, it's my responsibility to like make sure, like I'm the source of this information. And then you just hit a point. I mean, I fulfilled what I felt like was my duty. And now I've like dropped into a way more relaxed pace where it's like, my friend Ryan, who's an astrologer, like we do a monthly episode and we're going over the thing, but I'm like, I'm not forcing myself to just churn out work or reels or anything. I don't care. I'm like, you know what? I am the frequency of whatever I'm supposed to be. And, things are going to work themselves out. I don't know. Like, in my old age, I'm just like, I agree with you.
I would rather just be, I don't know. I'm just like in a different, this brings up a good point that we haven't really touched upon, but how you talk about how there's like 3 separate kind of spots in everyone's life in human design where it's like this age to this age is this, and then this age to this age you figure this out, and then this last age, that's when you kind of step into that like mastery energy. Can you speak to that a little bit? I think
that's you being a 6th line. So that's about your 6th line profile. The first 30 years, no, it's not everybody. No. So it's like the first 30 years is the whole like, wow, life is just crazy town and mistakes and all the crazy things happen to me. And you know what I mean? Like it is, I'd say air quotes, mistake heavy.
Yes.
But it's not, but none of it's mistakes. It's like, no, they're the way you learn the lessons.
Yes.
And then that middle, like from 30 to 50 is where you go into retreat. And then, and that's about integrating, figuring things out, making it all make sense. You really pull away from people too, and it's, again, they call it being aloof on the roof. It's not about, oh, I'm better than other people. It's like, I don't need to be as out and about. I don't need to be forcing myself upon anybody. I need to just pull away. And then from 50 onward, and this does have astrological significance. It's like really it has to do with your post Saturn return and then your post Chiron return. Chiron for a 6th line is very important. It's like, hey, Chiron is our wound, but it's like when we heal it, then we become the healer there. And so it's really where a 6th line is going to take on like extra, I don't want to use the word responsibility, but it's kind of like your special zone, and Yeah. And so then you kind of just are this embodied example. And what I think is cool about that final phase is more, and see, again, the chart is so nuanced. There's 6-line stuff that I have in my chart that's different. And, just kind of like transcending things and existing rather than having to do. You and I both have the channel of exploration. I only have the one channel. You have a bunch of things, going on, but it's like, it's this concept, what I like to call the 3410 is like, it's being a human crystal or a human tuning fork. I do not have to do, I need to be. And in my being is what is going to help other people rather than I gotta like, you know what I mean? Like make it happen. And you and I both have that. And so it's like this ability to help people love and accept themselves. And it's not because you're doing anything. You're just being Katie Boyd. And that is the right essence that people are going to pick up off of you. And I think that that's really cool. Again, when you just sort of relax into it, you're like, I don't have to convince anybody. I don't have to tell anybody anything. I just need to live my life as an example. And that's going to have the proper ripple effects, coming off of it.
Mm-hmm. And even the way that I was just thinking, because I just hired a social media manager because I'm just so sick of doing all that shit. Right.
Yeah.
And, Matt was like, you're a rich bitch. Why do you just hire someone?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's true. But because of how I was raised, I'm like, I don't want to spend money. But I know it's going to help me so much. But even just talking to her the other day about how we would word certain things like on posts, it's like, I don't want, and this, I didn't even know this about myself. I'm sure you've said this to me before, but this like just made another click in my mind where it's like, instead of being like, you all need to listen to what I'm doing and showing you on this Instagram reel because I'm the expert. And if you don't do it, you're a loser. Instead of that, which was the way that I would speak to people. Right. The new way is like, hey, this is what I'm doing for myself.
Yes.
And the end.
Yes.
The end. Because people know who I am. They know that I have an app. They know that I'm a coach. They know where to find me. People aren't stupid. I mean, my husband literally Googles what's fucking Mel Gibson's favorite breakfast food. I think that if Matt can Google such things, then other people can find how to work with me if they want to work with me.
Totally. I mean, this is why links in bio exist. It's like you can find it. I'm no longer, like forcing it upon anybody.
Yeah,
you don't have to.
I'd be like, oh, do this and do this and do this and do this. And then the other day it was funny because someone had reached out to me that I hadn't talked to in a long time. And they were like, hey girl, like, I know we haven't talked in a long time, but like, I would love to just like bring you out for coffee and like pick your brain. And
Katie's favorite thing.
I love that. So like the old me would have been like, to Matt, like, who does she think she is speaking to me like that? I am a coach and everyone knows I'm a coach. And you know what I did? I just deleted the message off my phone.
Yeah.
Like it never happened because I know that, first of all, it's not like you're calling me or Candace is calling me where I'm friends with this person. I'm going to have a conversation, right? Yes. These people are just acquaintances or people I've coached in the past. They know how to find the thing. Yes. They just want to test the waters. And it's up to me as that, embodying energy, like you said, to be like, no, if you don't even want to do the work to figure out how to schedule a call with me or hire me for a session or whatever, I don't have the time for you. Yeah. But the old me would be like, I have to help this person because they're asking me. And it's like,
or help them or also feel offended, right? Rather than just like, I'm unbothered.
But, no one can be more offended than me. I am the queen of being offended. Well, I was, but going forward, like one of my core desired feelings is like to feel unbothered, like just like, nope, moving on. Yes. Because if that person really wants to work with me, if they really believe that I have something for them that's going to help them elevate their lives, they will stop at nothing to figure out how to work with me.
Exactly. No, right? I'm in complete agreement. I have to laugh too because both of our south nodes are in gate 19, which is the one that's like this. It's hypersensitive in all the ways, like from sensitive skin, sensitive, tummy, sensitive, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's sensitive and it's paranoid, and so it gets. I think 19 is very easily offended, and hurt by things. And again, I'm like, I don't know if this is getting older or what. I was around you, we were all together, and I'm like, I am in unbothered mode. I have bigger fish to fry. I have more important things. Again, I'm still in the middle of a move and stuff,
Right.
it hasn't happened yet, but like, it's just not important. Like, things that are not important, I'm over wasting my time on being upset or concerned or whatever by. It's just not, it no longer, it just doesn't get to take up space in my life.
And I think I'm also at an age in my life right now where I'm just like so sick of trying to make people and manipulate them really to think differently about me, like, and stick up for myself. Like, no, I'm not like that. I'm really a good person, or I'm really this, or I'm really that. And it's like, let these motherfuckers think whatever they're going to think.
Totally.
Like, I'm just so sick of that energy, because I think back of my whole entire life up until like maybe a couple of years ago, where I just cared about what everyone thought. And I could have 1,000 people in a room literally love me and then one person not like me. And instead of loving on those 1,000 people, I will try to make that one person like me. And it's like, what am I trying to do this for?
I will say, from a human design perspective, what are you trying to do that for? Because again, you and I both, we have that human crystal thing. It's like, I have personally found over the years, because it's like, I'm a very quiet and reserved person. I think you're the yang to my yin. And it's like, I'm just like quiet and I think can come off in a way that maybe is like not the most friendly or something. And this is more, I don't know, you just never really know how you're perceived.
Right.
But I think that that's the case. And then people, it's always, I've noticed it for so long. It's like when they finally get to know you and they're like, oh my God, like they love you, but it's in the process. And that is at 3410, where I'm like, I'm not here to convince you of anything. If you want to get to know me, cool. If like you wind up spending some time with me and realize that I'm like a nice person or something, fantastic. Then we were meant to like connect. But I don't care. Think whatever you want to think. Like I also like have that Mercury and South Node both in Aquarius myself, where I'm like, I don't care. Love mankind as people I can't stand. I'm not here to. I'm just no.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now, let me ask you this question, because I know that I'm going to get a lot of these questions if I don't ask this question to you.
Okay.
Because so many of the women that listen to Ambitious are entrepreneurs, right? They're coaches, they're healers, they're doing all those things. Yeah. In your opinion, and maybe you can use examples of past clients or just yourself or whatever, how do you think that knowing all the nuanced parts of your chart and your human design can help you with your business?
Oh my gosh.
In financial abundance or scarcity or whatever. I know there's so many things.
Again, it's like one area of this, really, it's like, it's your whole life. It's like when you know your design, it will answer questions for everything. Right. And I actually have a course that I still haven't it's still just sitting there. But it was like,
it's on your website, no?
No, not this.
You're gonna sell that thing, girl.
I know.
People need it.
It's essentially like marketing, like, through what you have going on in your design, which is fantastic. Because then you realize like, oh, I'm a projector. I shouldn't be trying to see like 10 patients every day or 10 clients. Like I would be more fulfilled seeing like 2 people and doing affiliate marketing, like making money other ways or whatever. Or your profile, how you doing that. If you had a reel and it's showing you just living your life and the text and all that, it's like, cool. We're just supposed to observe what Katie's doing. If you're first line, like myself, it's like, be that source, that resource. So like the walking encyclopedia, you're a 4th line. You're like, you're not meant to cold call or do things. Everything's supposed to come through word of mouth. When I always say, when you know what's in your design, you just turn the volume up on it, and all of a sudden you're attracting all the right people to you because you're now emitting the correct frequency. You're like, it's like we're old. So it's like turning the dial on the radio in your dad's truck. And it's like, oh, we got the stations coming in clear now. It's not fuzzy. That's essentially what you're doing when you're playing to your strengths. All of a sudden, the people that want your energy, because that's one of the things I say for estheticians, the provider is the product. It's if they can get a facial, or hydrofacial is a great example. It's a machine, and it's like anybody could be using that. Dime a dozen. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can get it from her. You can get it from Susie Q across the street. You can get it from homegirl down the road. It doesn't really matter. It's not specific to that person. That is just a treatment. People are going to wind up going to the provider that they're into their energy more than anything. So when your energy is all clean, pristine, perfect, running exactly the way it's meant to, the right people will find you. And the wrong people can go to Susie Q down the street, and good for her. You know, like, you don't need everybody. You want the ones that really want you and are your diehards, that if you moved places, I found my girl Russian manicures yesterday or a day or two ago, and I was like, oh, she's not there anymore. What happened? And I'm like on Google. I'm like, I want to go see her.
Yep.
Right. I'm not there to just see whomever. I know what I want, and I've had it. So I'm going to go seek that person out.
Yep.
Right. So to me, this is like, it's your energetic resume. It's your calling card. It's all the stuff that, you know, you're not putting this isn't literally on probably on your website. However, I have been tapped before, and I'm not going to name names because I work for Little Fox, so I don't want to plug anybody else. I'm like, I'm not giving anybody else airtime, but there is a brand, y'all know them. That's very well known. I know the founder and stuff. And when she was redoing her website a few years ago, actually asked me, can you give me, and we've done human design together before a few times. So it's like, it wasn't out of the ordinary. It's like, I've given her facials and things. And it's like, okay, can you give me some highlights of my stuff? Because I want to essentially embed that in my website.
Oh, cool.
So it's cool. It's really cool, because then all of a sudden you realize, you're like, oh, I'm like, no, in this course that I have, it's like, there's key words. I'm like, I want you to focus on these words. You can go to the thesaurus and like find things that work with that. If you're, but understanding your energy, and you're like, when you start to embed that, like I talk about helping people love and accept themselves. That sounds generic. It's not at all. That is exactly what I do. I'm like, I am God's hype girl. Like, let's, you know, I'm always like, let's get you high on you. You get excited about yourself. And now you're like, hell yeah, I have the clinging fire. I want everybody to know that. I'm like, I don't give up. I stay the course. I've got that devotion. I've got, you know, like, I've got this, I've got that. Fantastic. You know, you have something in, you know, where I'm saying, oh, I'm very reserved. And it's like, we each have two sides to this particular channel. So it's like, it's electromagnetic. It's where we meet, where we're going to connect. My side is like, oh, I make things beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, but I'm also like, I just can't be bothered with people, and I don't want to listen to this or whatever. And you have the side of this. It's considered the Shakespearean channel. It's very, it's a performer thing. You have the voice side of it. I have the emotional side. You have the voice.
Yes.
For you, it's like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's the vibration of what's coming through for you, you know, and how, like, the power behind your voice. And you are very powerful with that. Well, fantastic. But I know I don't have that side of it. I have the side that makes things really beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to work on making everything beautiful, because that is my freaking talent. Katie has the side that her voice moves people into action. Fantastic. Right? Play to your strengths. You know, it's like, I don't know. I get very passionate about this, because it's like, oh my God, it's so cool. And you have something I don't have. One thing is catching my eye right now. The 37, gathering together. This is about the family. This is bringing people together. It is the most friendly gate in the entire chart. This is somebody who, it's like, everybody has a seat at this table. Y'all belong here. Very, very welcoming. Very, very wonderful energy to have, you know, but not everybody has that. Okay. We don't need everybody to have that. That is for certain people. So again, you know, you find these things out, or even kind of going back to the retreat thing. It's like, you have permission. So, you know, if you were an esthetician and we're sitting here having this, I'd be like, girl, your treatment room needs to be a space of retreat. Turn the volume up on that. People only get an hour or 90 minutes or something to themselves, maybe once a month when they come to see you. Make this as retreat-like as possible, because that's you doing your frequency. And again, it's going to attract the people who need that from you. Yes. So there's wild stuff. I mean, it's so powerful in that way. Or like Candace having, you know, her entire space is like a cave, and everybody's like gaga over it. You're like, but that's correct for her chart. Like, that is perfect for her. She's a projector, right? She's meant to be like somebody who guides other people. She's not meant to be the doer all the time. And she's, you know, like slowly moving away from that, doing other things that are like fantastic, but she's there to help support her team. And she's also got the sales and marketing energy in it, where it's like, they're not meant to work all the time. I mean, yes, work, but in a different way, not the manual labor way. You have people that work there for you. They keep the ship running. And you are kind of like out there being the face and the name and all of that stuff. So you will, it's endless. It's endless. It's like it's keys that unlock so much stuff, answers so many things for a person in their business and then their life subsequently, or vice versa. You learn about your life and then you're like, wow, this applies to literally everything in my existence. And it works, it's perfect.
100%. You said something to me when we were in Costa Rica, because by the way, guys, if you didn't know this, we did a retreat in Costa Rica with Candice Marino, which was called Radiant AF. And Candice brought all these incredible women from all over the world, literally. And Candice showed everyone her facial massage technique. We business coach people. You did everyone's human design, pretty much everyone's human design chart while we were out there, did sessions with them and stuff. And one of the things that you said to me, and I don't know if it was like after I did inner child healing meditation or death meditation, nights that I did something. And she goes, you said to me, you go, you can say the craziest shit that would offend the fuck out of so many people, but there's just something about the way you say it. It doesn't offend people. Like, people laugh, they cry, they like love it. But if you said the things that I say, it would bomb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if someone else said something like that, because they're a totally different human design, it would sound perverted or weird or whatever.
Totally.
Like the channel of my throat or something. Wasn't motor?
Well, no. This is like a gene keys thing, which gene keys are the sister to human design. And so I really, again, I synthesize. I'm like out here going like, and your astrocartography, and this is like where you should live. And I'm like, I'm built for like the esoteric,
I love it.
Pulling all the things. But no, for you, I think it was about how I said, it's like, it's coming from a place of love. Like, you might just absolutely rip somebody a new one. And I love to see it.
Yeah, I didn't do that in Costa Rica, did I?
We won't go that far, but just kind of calling people out, right? But it's done with love in a way that is like, this is for your best interest. It has to do with your vocation placement, meaning that it's like, hey, loving yourself and wanting the best for yourself is like how you're meant to actually like serve people. And so that's exactly it. It's like, you're like not telling them this stuff to like, put them down or anything. Right. You're saying it because it's like, girl, choose you, love yourself, make the best decisions for yourself and for your business and everything. And you're going to flourish, but then knowing that you're like, that's where and actually that's funny now, because I said that. And then I'm like, oh yeah, because my vocation is to know all the crazy stuff.
Which is what you do.
Which is what I do. And I'm always like, it's so wild that it's like, these things are so built into you. And then it's like, hey, okay, I am supposed to be the girl that like studies all of these things. And this is what I'm obsessed with and I talk about. And you know what? It's not going to be for everybody, but for the right people, it's going to hit. And then I know I'm doing the job that I was put here on earth to do.
I love that. It's so true. And I also think it's so cool too with the environments, how you were talking about like Candice is in the cave. What is your environment? Do you know?
I'm external markets. Of course I know.
Okay. So tell me about external markets as your environment. I've never heard of this one.
So you can think of markets almost like as like the trading post. Yes. So all of these, everything comes back to like the 6 number, the 1 through 6. Mm-hmm. So this is a second line. There's so much, it gets so confusing. And I'm not confused by it, but I mean, it's like all the places they come from. Yes. And try to keep people like following along when they don't really understand it. But it's a second line thing. It's about being picky. It's about who gets to have my time. Going to the trading post, like needing to leave my house to like interact, and then wanting to go home and hermit. There's just elements of that, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's pretty, like, and having selection, and and so I notice, and I also have a trajectory that's about going from being the observer to being the observed over the course of my lifetime. So it's like, yeah, I need to be out in places being observed, and then I can go away, I can retreat and stuff. But again, everybody's chart tells like this completely different story, which is so fun. And that's where I always think I zoom out. I'm like, I get in all the details, then I zoom way out and I'm like, okay, so this is what it's telling me. And, the way that it's all going to weave together to help a person is going to, again, different from one person to the next.
And mine's kitchen. And you said for me, like, it's like, think about yourself in a kitchen as like the chef. You take all these like simple ingredients and you put them together and alchemize them and make this beautiful thing that's like tastes good and it looks good on the eyes. And all that stuff. If you really think about all the things that I've done in my life, that's literally what I've always done. Like I take a little piece of all these things. It's almost like when I make something for Matt and I don't have any groceries in the house, right? And he's like, where did you find all this? And I was like, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I made this like delicious meal. And, it's
totally
like this life.
Yeah. Yeah. And, even kitchens is like going and interacting with other people. And like, some of it, there's things in the chart that are like, it's always like literal and figurative at the same time. So the way it all comes together, I don't know. It's very magical. And I get honestly way too excited to talk to people about themselves because, I'm just like, this is the inner beauty really that you don't see and no one else is probably validating for you. Nobody's like, oh, Katie, I'm laughing because again, something that's popping out. I'm like fear of responsibility, but like it's the taking on too much, feeling the need to have to be the responsible one. Right. So it's too much responsibility and I know people with it where they shirk from responsibility and it's like finding a healthy balance of like, yeah, I'm here to, again, be a role model for people, but I don't need to do things for them. I can be their cheerleader, but I don't have to like, change their diapers.
Oh God, please. Oh my God. Story of my life, Mikaela.
I know.
Everyone needs this in their life. I mean, like it has changed my life so much. It's made me restructure parts of my business. It's made me show up in my life differently in my relationships and just with the information, because obviously you gave me that incredible chart. Like it's a PDF. You guys, you get.
Oh yeah, I made that for you.
Oh my God, your PDF is like incredible and just it explains so much, and it's so nice to have it there to read it and like look back on it when you kind of like need to go back and get a little like reminder of things.
Totally.
But it has changed my life in so many ways, and it continues to change my life in so many ways because I'm the kind of person where when I don't like something, like I want to like blow up my life. And then burn it down and start back fresh, which, sometimes that works, right? But if you're continuously doing that all the time, it's like, bro, there's only so many times the phoenix can rise from the ashes before it gets like to be a burnt out bird, like But I feel like now I'm coming at my life in such a much mature and insightful and intentional way, just from like working with you and just for the last like couple of months and watching you also work with the other girls, the retreat, and now like working with a lot of those girls too, like, mentoring them with their businesses, helping them scale up their businesses. And it's helping me as a coach with them because I know, so-and-so is a reflector. She shouldn't be doing this stuff. Like she should be doing this stuff. And obviously I'm not at all an expert, not even close, but then I can call you and be like, yo, hey, I'm having this issue. Like, what should I do? And you're like, well, actually her line is this and her, this is that. And it's just so I think like from now on, and this is what I have been doing, all the new clients that I bring on for even the app, even my mentorship, I say to them like, okay, you need to learn I want to know what your human design is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I work with Mikaela so that I can kind of figure a little bit more out about you so that I don't pressure you to do things that are not for your highest, greatest good just because I think you should.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's always been fun for me is like working with people because I'm like, I'm not a coach. I don't want to be a coach. That's not it for me. But I just love to tell people all of this stuff. And I'm like, and then pass it on to someone who you have the background to actually do the thing and use it, to help them further. And we have talked about people from the retreat that you're working with where I'm like, oh yeah, okay, well, she's got this in her chart or that in her chart. And you're like, oh my God, okay, that makes sense because why was she resistant to this thing or what? You're like, because she's supposed to be. And like you said, you're not trying to force anybody to do anything just because you want them to, because you're like, oh, but this works. And you're like, yeah, but it wouldn't work for that person's energy. So we just need to be mindful of that. It's really just the most incredible thing, honestly,
It really is. It really is.
It's very life-changing.
So if people want to work with you, what is take them through the steps. So they are going to reach out to you by going to your website.
So the thing I always would start with is like, you can of course find me on my website, MikaelaMaclean.com, or you can, on Instagram, same thing, links to get you there. I have that free class. I'm like, go to my website, run your chart, free chart, find out what you are.
Yes.
Very simple, I'm a projector. Okay, go watch your projector class. They're free. They're on YouTube. I'm actually going to put them on Spotify as well as like a visual podcast because I'm just like, they just need to be out there.
Yes.
It's 1 hour. Years ago, they're old, but all the content's relevant. But I would try to tell everybody all of the stuff that's in that video. And then all the details about them, there's just too much. Yeah. So my prerequisite is you have to watch that video first. And then we'll sit down one-on-one because I'm like, and everybody watches that and they're like, it blew my mind. And I'm like, we haven't even talked about you. We talked about just the most basic, you watch the video about the most basic stuff, but that video alone is life-changing. Because now you know how to go about life. Now I'm going to talk to you about all the intricacies, the real deep details of like, yeah, this is who you are. This is the energy, like you're meant to be portraying and stuff and how, like you said about marketing yourself or whatever, if it's somebody like that's in business. So yeah. And then, you just, everything's on my website, very easy to navigate. And I'm somebody who's like, email me, I'm responsive there.
I know. I love it. And you know what? Also too, if you're on the app, guys, if you're on the Ambitious app, Mikaela is going to come on and do a little tutorial for everybody, which is so great. And I'm so excited for that. But dude, this was insightful. This was incredible. I know that so many people are now like, oh, I need this in my life because you guys know me out there and you do know me too. Like I don't blow smoke up anyone's ass. Everything that I do on this podcast, I'm doing myself, right? Like I'm not just having people on to have people on for podcasts,
Right.
You totally changed my life. And I know that you're going to help so many more people, especially the women that listen to this podcast. And it's going to totally change the trajectory of their life going forward. So thank you for being here and taking time out of your busy schedule with all the things that you have going on. I appreciate it so much.
Of course. Oh, I just love you. And I can't wait. I can't wait for us to do that on your app.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
It is life-changing. And I can never understate that. I think I never try to like sell it, but you're like, it's life-changing. I know it's a little like, what even is this? And what am I going to get out of it? If you're ready to hear the things about yourself and you're ready to do some work on yourself, it will just completely blow your socks off.
Absolutely. It blew mine off and like it's totally changed my life. So I can't wait for you to work with the other girls. And thank you so much for being here. Guys, if you love this podcast, get it out to as many people as you can. And in the meantime, don't forget to stay ambitious and I will see you next Tuesday.